Welcome to the Peew.
The Peew.
The self-publishing episode.
I was showing Michael my new Christmas gift. I was given a copy of Shots by the photographer Andy Weiland. And basically, the whole book is a bunch of photographs that she took, mostly at the Pyramid Club. I believe it's a woman, although maybe it isn't.
Look how young John Sex is.
Well, these photographs were taken between 1980 and 1986, so everybody does look very young then. Because they were.
Why didn't you peel it? According to me, why didn't you peel that?
I just, there's only so much unwrapping I can do at the time. Okay. Anyway, the book is chocked full of photographs from the Pyramid Club, and it's the Pyramid Club that I remember when I first moved to New York in 1984.
Yeah.
And all the people that I encountered at the Pyramid in 1984 are in this book. And
it really makes you, even this picture right here, it makes you really realize what a bunch of geniuses were at this club. This was a club of comedic genius.
Well, thank you. I was there.
You have moments of comedic genius. Call it spade a spade. You have many more moments of non-comedic genius. You have some moments of comedic genius.
What about all my other moments of genius, my non-comedic moments of genius?
You have those too. But these people, this was their. They were like natural life. This was their livelihood, was that they were comedic geniuses, and a lot of them still are.
Well, they were great entertainers.
But the fact that you had so many of them, such a concentration of them in that one club, well, that's what made New York so great at that time too. Not only did you have such a concentration of these comedic geniuses at the Pyramid, but you had a concentrations of party geniuses and comedic geniuses and style geniuses and all kinds of different geniuses at all the different clubs, and together making a big scene.
That's true, because the Pyramid was just one club of many. Although, it's funny because now when you talk about the Pyramid and when you look at these photographs, it makes the Pyramid look really legendary and iconic. And but when you were actually there, it didn't feel that way at all. Like, it felt really divey, and it was very uncomfortable and tiny, and not enough room to move around.
Here it says Joe Deech, but it was Joe Dietrich. Remember Joe Dietrich?
Vaguely, yeah. Wasn't he one of the go-go boys at the?
He was like one of the boys.
At the bad boy.
He was one of the boys that played him. The Keith Haring Party of Life.
I actually had that T-shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, it was an invitation.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it did feel divey, but I do recall moments at the Pyramid where I do remember feeling this is a very special.
It definitely felt special when I first got there. Like when I first moved to New York in May of 1984.
There's a picture of you, isn't it?
That's Deb Marilyn.
Isn't that?
Who lives in San Francisco now. Peter Stack is his real name. I remember when I first went to the Pyramid, and actually I had gone to the Pyramid before I moved to New York, but then when I moved to New York, I instantly started going to the Pyramid every Sunday. Because remember, they used to do that party Whispers. Right, the gay suburban disco that Sister Dimension.
And it was funny because it was really fun. I don't know how many people caught on. Well, I think a lot of people who went there caught on. But it was a satire of the typical, feathers or whatever.
Right.
In
New Jersey gay club,
yeah,
which is actually quite fun too. Well, anyway, I remember going there and feeling so intimidated when I was first there, because there was John Sachs, there was Magnuson, there was Nasinka, there were all these people performing on the stage, and I was just this 21-year-old kid who was going.
Nobody.
Right. I mean, I had my fabulous look.
Just a nothing. Nobody.
I had my fierce look, but I wasn't anybody.
Nothing. I just not saying that.
I was even afraid to talk to them.
Of course you were. Nobody, nothing.
They were all very friendly and came up and talked to me. They were
and you were nobody, nothing.
Some of them were probably trying to have sex
Throw
with
away
me.
Nothing. Filler. You're filler.
For your information,
You're filler.
I got in for free.
Filler.
Slow
night in August.
I learned very quickly how to get yourself comped into a club. And that's not the way I did it. It was by turning looks. I realized.
Turning tricks?
Turning looks, not turning tricks. I realized at the area club that when you would go there, if you were turned out in a look, they would let you in.
Shazor. Now,
Yeah.
this is a dear to my heart. There's a really interesting story behind Shazor because
Shazork was a band of Sister Dimension, Lady Bunny, and Dimitri, right?
yes, and Shazor was the precursor. Is that the word? Precursor.
Yes, something that comes before.
To Deee-Lite, and there's a big scandal behind. Do you know what the scandal of Shazork is?
No.
The scandal of Shazork is that they were actually. Have you seen them perform?
I saw them perform back then, yes.
They were very good for kind of a backyard garage band or whatever it's called. They were very good. Their songs were very catchy. They're very talented. And but when they tried to get signed, they were told that they were too gay, and because they had drag queens, Lady Bunny and Sister Dimension were drag queens, and so they unceremoniously, dumped Lady Bunny and replaced her with Keir Kirby, who became Lady Keir.
Wait a minute, who's they?
Dimitri and Sister.
Okay.
And Keir was not Lady Miss Keir, she was just Keir Kirby. And then she became Lady Miss Keir. Lady Bunny, Lady Keir. And there was a little bit of, I think, bad blood, maybe we call it. There. And
I don't know, it's just a business decision.
well, okay.
Well, let's look at it this way. You are a musician.
Oh, I understand it.
And you want to get signed by a record label, and the record label says, no, you can't have drag queens in your band because we'll never sign you. So what do? Do you say, okay, I'll keep going with this band that will never get signed, or do you start a new band? Or find new people for your band?
There are camps that will say both. That if you're the purists will say that you stay with you do what you do, and you hope that the rest of the world catches on and follows suit. And then there are those who will say to do otherwise would be to sell out.
See, I don't look at it that way. I think that if Dimitri got rid of Sister Dimension and Lady Bunny because he needed to do that in order to get a record deal and be successful, then I don't blame him for that.
Oh, I don't blame him either. I probably would do the same thing.
Yeah, anybody would.
I would hope that it would have been a group decision, and that somehow Lady Bunny would have been involved, even if it's behind the scenes, or somehow do something because she was part of the conception of the band, and and I don't know that she was. I don't know that she wasn't either, but.
Well, she's done well for herself.
She has.
So it's not like
she has. But then almost right away, Lady Deee-Lite kind of exploded with the grooves in the heart and all that, and it couldn't have been easier for Bunny to watch that happen. I mean, I don't know. She didn't say.
Well, could it be easier? Would it have been harder or easier for her to watch that, or to see RuPaul become really famous?
I think it would probably be harder for Deee-Lite because it was her spot. Lady,
but there was only one person from Shazork in Deee-Lite.
One person from Shazork.
And it was Dimitri. The other two people in Deee-Lite were not in Shazork.
Yes.
So unless you consider Shazork to have all been Dimitri,
I think it's the lady part that was lady replacing lady. I don't know. Maybe, but
I've never had a conversation with Keir about why she called herself Lady Miss Keir.
Well, it's pretty obvious.
I don't think it's obvious.
Fairly. I didn't say it was obvious. I said it was fairly obvious.
Next time I see Keir, I'll ask
all
her.
about the fairly.
Next time I see Keir, I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Let's
do that. Next time we have dinner with Keir, we'll ask her.
I regularly see her out in clublands.
I'm sure you do.
Well, you've got to go out to see people from clubs.
Sure you do. Isn't that Keir right there?
Although I must say, some of the acts at the Pyramid who are legendary today, I just never liked. Like Ethel Eichenberger.
Oh,
like with the whole.
She was this
drag queen that would play the accordion, and I just thought she was. I never thought she was funny. I never liked her. I mean, and it's nothing against her personality. It was just her act. I just thought it was boring. It didn't entertain me in any way.
Do you know who I thought was really funny? Barbara Patterson Lloyd.
I didn't necessarily like her either.
No?
The people that
She would come on, her shtick was, she would come on in this pantsuit, or she would, like,
Right.
and like a shag.
and tell horrible jokes.
Yeah, and she was kind of like, supposed to be like
So like a Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, maybe
type of
she
character.
like a suburban housewife, kind of like in like a beige pantsuit, and yeah, she was funny.
The acts that I liked at the Pyramid and who performed regularly were, of course, Lady Bunny. I liked Happy Face. I liked Tanya Ransom.
Tanya Ransom, who's that?
He was one of the performers there. I like Dean Johnson.
It's not Tangela, is it?
No, Tangela. I also like Tangela. Who else did I like that would perform there? John Sex performed there regularly.
Well, and
I
Lip
loved
Sync.
him. Lip Sync, you know, that's another one that I've never been like a big fan
You're
of.
kidding me.
I'm not kidding. I've never been a big fan of her.
Really? She's the funniest.
I don't think she's that funny.
How about Frida?
I loved Frida. I thought that was very funny.
You know, Frida was she was a girl actually, and she wore a doll's head, the kind that you like the girls would style the hair and everything, and she put the doll's head on top of her head, and then wore like a big turtleneck to make it look like it's her head, and then her arms were like this, and like it looked really funny. The last time she performed, I saw, was at the Roxy. I don't know if you were there when she fell off the stage.
Well, I saw her at Wigstock just in September.
Well, she took a hiatus for a while because she couldn't. Must have been very difficult for her to see with that because she would have to cut holes in the thing. And she was on stage at the Roxy, and it was horrific. She was doing she does it.
Which Roxy?
1018.
Okay.
She does it. It's a pre-recorded tape. It's like she does a lip sync to a pre-recorded show, and even the monologue is all recorded. So she's like doing this, and she's like walking off of the stage, and she goes off on the runway, and she took one step too many, and plummeted into the audience. And for a second, people thought, "Is this part of the show?" But then it was obvious that it wasn't. And that people were gasping, and it was like, somebody help her, and it was really horrific.
Well, I will explain why I never liked Lip Synca because when I came to the Pyramid and I was that young, I mean, she was doing a shtick that to me was like some old people humor, like that.
Yeah.
Because one, I didn't really get her references because
Yeah.
there's all these old movies that I
Yeah.
never watched,
Yeah.
and to me it was like something that my parents would maybe think is funny. But my parents wouldn't have thought it was funny either because they're immigrants from Mexico, so they didn't see those movies either. But like if people my parents,
because
people my parents' age, like
her
parents.
her character though was an older character. It was older than she was. The character was older than it was supposed to be like a Norman Desmond type thing.
I will say though that Lip Synca was great in all those East Village theater shows that she did.
Yes,
because she also performed in all these plays. And she often played these outrageous characters, and those plays were really funny. But I didn't like her 1950s or 1940s monologues where she would be talking.
They were so funny. I didn't like they were just.
And
the telephone thing where she would.
Well,
the
that's what
telephone would ring, and then she would.
That's what I didn't think was
And then
funny.
she would say a line from a movie, and she would spot on, like Desmond. Desmond is amazing. Did a photo shoot recently where he does Norma Desmond. And it's funny, Norma Desmond is amazing. And he looks just like her. It's very funny.
So check it out. It's online. Shots by Andy Weiland or Wieland.
I have some funny,
Andy A-N-D-E.
I have some funny pyramid stories that we'll tell you after the break.
We'll be right back.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Welcome back to the Peeew, where Ernie says we're not going to get in trouble for anything we say. The principal will not call us down to the office and say, you cannot say that about shazor.
The only principle that we're concerned about is the one at YouTube.
A matter of principle. Now, I actually did a couple of parties at the Pyramid. Do you remember?
No.
You didn't go to any of them? Was that before I met you?
I don't remember when you did them. Maybe who can remember parties from such a long time ago?
I can. It was during the my tunnel basement time, so that would have been.
Well, I went to your parties at the tunnel.
Yeah. Well, apparently this was right after the New York Magazine piece came out, and when club kids were, you know, and I guess in the article it said something about me making, and Michael Tron also making something like $1,000 or $1,500 per party, and so when I approached the Pyramid, and at the time Sister Dimension and Really Beyond were the, I guess, promotional directors of the club or whatever, and when I approached them and said I wanted to do a party there, they Sister immediately said no because she didn't think that she could afford it. I thought she was saying no because she didn't want me to have a party there, but I found out later it was because she thought she could afford it. Because when I said that I could do the entire party, including my fee, and the party would be for Christina, so including my fee, the promotional fee, and the performance fee for Christina, the entire thing I said I would do for $350. And Sister said, we will book that right away. And so she, in fact, booked that one and another one the week after for 2 Thursdays. So I was like, yes, I've got the tunnel and the Pyramid. And first, I don't know what was going on in my mind. I guess I was thinking that I was much more fabulous than I was because I was on the cover of New York Magazine. And I thought I would just have to put my name on the invitation and people would come because that's all I did. And I didn't promote it. I didn't, we didn't really do anything.
Right, and back then promoting meant that you actually physically had to go out and you had to hand this little piece of paper to thousands of people and get them to come.
And also, the Pyramid was a very small club, so, and it was a Thursday night.
You wouldn't have needed that many people.
And I thought, probably that many people will just go out anyway, just to fill the club. So I didn't promote it almost at all. And until like that afternoon, and I told a few friends to come. And it was obvious that night that I had not promoted the club at the party at all, because there were maybe like 20 or 30 people there. And when I went to get paid, Sister paid me, but when I said something about the party the week after, she pretended that she didn't know what I was talking about. Which I thought was an interesting way of saying you're fired.
What are you talking about?
Right. And then, and also there was a discrepancy about the money. She had $300 written down, but it was $350, and it was written in pencil. And when I said something about that, it was supposed to be 300.
Good as stone.
Instead of 300, she said, "Well, it's 300, and I have it written right here. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm a liar, it's written right here." And she pointed at it. And
are you suggesting Sister Dimension is a liar?
No, I'm saying she's not a liar because she proved it by showing me in pencil that it was written in $300.
Right, well, that's as good as written in stone.
And then when I mentioned next week, she said, I don't know what you're talking about. So that's my brief history at the Pyramid.
When did you stop going to the Pyramid?
That day.
Okay. You never went back?
No, I did. I went on Sundays. Although I too was very intimidated, and what it all comes down to is the makeup. I was intimidated by the makeup because they were all so good at what they did.
The makeup there was terrible.
Well, it was either that theatrical kind of makeup, which is everything is overdone.
Nobody had good makeup there.
Oh, you're wrong.
Joey Horatio's makeup looks good. Lady Bunny's...
He's not wearing any makeup.
Of course he is.
Well, he's wearing pancake maybe.
And those eyebrows are not natural.
Okay. That's the theatrical kind that I'm talking about. From a distance, it looks like, it's like Broadway theater.
Christina, do you call that good makeup?
Christina can get away with anything.
I like Dead Marilyn's makeup, but it was like death warmed over. People's makeup was not great at the Pyramid.
With Billy Beyond.
But it didn't matter. His makeup was great.
Yeah, his eye makeup. And look at this, that's happy face. But,
isn't this happy face?
No. Oh, Taboo, I'm sorry. Sister and Billy always had good makeup. If you remember, on Sunday nights when Sister would perform, one of her performances was Sister Dimension's Harpsichord Follies. Do you remember that one?
No, I do not.
And she would just go on stage with her harpsichord and say, Sister Dimension's Harpsichord Follies.
La la la.
Sister Dimension Harpsichord Follies.
And would you actually play the harpsichord?
No, she would just sing that over and over, like about 8 or 9 times, and then that would be. And then when you think the show would be over, she would say one more, Sister Dimension Harpsichord Follies.
That gives me an idea.
Ernie Glam mentions Peeew Follies.
See you next time.
Bye.